We are back here on Gone Fishkin, and I am very stoked and honored right now to have a fellow East Coaster with me. His name is Frank Iero. I'm sure you know him already, but I'm stoked to have you in studio. What's up?
I'm excited to be here. Thank
Hell
you very
yeah.
much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming by. You're currently, while we're filming this, it's the second to last night of your run on the Taking Back Sunday, or third to last night?
Fourth to last night.
Fourth to oh, yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
you're going up to San Francisco, but have two shows up there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
So it's your fourth to last show.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's towards the end of the run.
It is towards the, yes, yeah. The run is getting small.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not much time left. But I'm very stoked because Frank Iero and the Future Violence, and I know it's violence. We messed it up on the graphic. That is
really?
100% my fault.
Oh, what'd you write?
Violence.
But okay. All right,
I misheard
yes.
something. And
I misheard the pronunciation of the T. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it is.
It's the New
with a
York
T.
thing.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
East Coast.
yeah. Yeah, in my vernacular, it's pronounced the exact same way, it's just spelled differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But apparently the kids on Instagram thought a
Oh,
little
they
bit
will.
differently.
Yes. They will shoot you down.
Yeah,
Yes.
so kids on Instagram, we both misheard it. It's okay. So this is your third different band name, with your third different album. So I want to kind of ask you about that because I think that's a really cool concept you have.
I think so too.
Yeah. So obviously it's always you because you are Frank.
Right.
Now, is it
Unless I change my name, which could happen. But Francesca and Paul, my management over there, they're really hoping I don't. Yeah.
I mean, we can't tell the future.
Well, I don't make the rules.
Exactly.
I mean, I do, but I could change the rules, is basically what I'm saying.
I like that.
Yeah.
So now, is it always the same members, or do you switch up members too?
We switch up members as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I like to think of it as like every time you start this new chapter, the character's going to change and the feel's going to change. So you might as well name it something new. And I like that. I like being able to wipe that slate clean and kind of start fresh. And if you listen, I guess record to record, everyone does have its own feel, its own sound, and it would be hard to confuse this song is this off of this one or that one. You know what I mean? I think they sound that much different.
Definitely. Yeah. And your third record, Barriers, is due out on May 31st.
Correct.
And previous records, Parachute and Stomach Aches. Both are awesome records.
Thank you very much.
And listening through Barriers, it's not out for a minute, but I was lucky enough to score in advance.
Fuck
yeah.
Nice.
So this record gives me more of a Springsteen feel.
Ooh,
and the previous records, listening through, has more of the post-hardcore, maybe Saves the Day type vibes, in my opinion.
Wow, okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So talk about this record a little bit, because just going straight into Barriers, you have the opening track, and it's so cool, how it's this lead in to everything, and it's kind of very instrumental based, but a cappella in a way. I don't know how to explain it technically.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think a cappella would reference being just singing.
Just
so
vocal.
there is actual instruments in there, right?
Yeah.
I like to think that it's definitely a palate cleanse, and that was why I placed that song first. So the first song on the record is called "New Day's Coming," and the way that started was, at bedtime, basically, for my kids, we either do a song or a story. And when they pick a song, we'll sing this song that we wrote together called Best Friends Forever. And then inevitably they're going to be like, oh, let's do another one. And I'm like, oh, all my songs are about drugs and weird shit. I can't sing anything else. And so I wanted to write a song that would be appropriate for them and also have a really great sentiment, an uplifting thing. The idea that, no matter what happened today, even if you had a hard day, that sun's gonna rise, and you have another chance to make things right, and another chance to for great things to happen to you, and I thought I kept thinking about that and how that was a great sentiment for even the place in my life now. My friends and I we were on tour and we had this really terrible accident a couple of years ago, and it felt like oh man, maybe I don't ever want to do this again. I don't know how to do this again, and I started to think about that idea of a new day coming and that clean, fresh slate. And so I went back to that lullaby and decided to see if I could try to make it a real boy kind of thing. And I was blessed with having some great musicians in the room, and we made this song. It feels like a gospel. It feels like a spiritual, and I like that. I like that you can put this record on and know immediately that it's not anything else that's in your playlist.
Yeah.
It's definitely a scene change, and I like that.
Exactly. It's a very unique record, which I love too.
Thank you.
And obviously, coming off the success of, let's just say, My Chemical Romance, obviously you were in and played guitar. You played guitar for the band, and now like going into it, obviously there's a legacy and
Right.
kind of this idea of something you have to live up to, in a way.
It's
And-
weird. You know what's really strange is that you do a band like that,
Yeah.
and then you have like a new project and you do a new record, and like, I'll be say on tour and I'll be doing an interview with a magazine. And they'll be like, all right, so this week you're on the cover for like your new record and you're like a new artist, and then next month you're on the cover as like a classic legendary artist. It's
Yeah.
like, that's really weird. You know what I mean? I don't know many people that can say that. So like, yeah, it's strange
Yeah.
to have both of those existences.
Now, going into it, obviously you left a legacy, and obviously you've influenced probably every single person we play on idobi at this point.
Oh, geez.
And so going into it, you're on your third record now. So obviously
Yeah.
you've surpassed it. Obviously you're here to stay as Frank Iero and whatever you choose your band name to be next time around too.
Obviously, you're really old.
No, not that.
You've done-
Experienced.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Seasoned.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
So,
like jerk chicken.
The finest jerk chicken on the finest Caribbean island.
Yes.
So talk about maybe some mentality you have going into recording and stuff, because maybe not in critics' head that you think this way, but maybe in your own head, it's like, okay, what shoes do I have to fill? What are people expecting? Or is it more so how you're feeling about everything?
Yeah. Whenever I go into a recording, it's mostly like just trying to channel what I'm feeling at the moment. It's a lot of like trying to tackle things that I've never done before. Trying to surprise myself, trying to scare myself, basically. That's the thing. I think when I find stuff that scares the shit out of me, that's when I get inspired to do it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why I keep doing it, I guess, is because I'm not repeating myself. I think if I was repeating myself, I'd probably have just been like, you know what, I'm going to find something else to do.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Nice. And now being the frontman and everything,
Yeah.
were you scared about how honest your lyrics could be and how vulnerable you could be at this point?
At first, I think on the first record that was a really crazy hurdle to try to get over. But now I'm trying to find this balance of how honest do you want to be about certain topics, and that's song to song. Like, do you want to veil things completely? Do you want to be as raw and kind of like cut down the middle and show your insides? Like it depends on the topic. There's a song on this record called 6 Feet Down Under that I tried to write over and over and over again. And I feel like that was really the biggest roadblock for me was tackling that issue and basically the story of the accident and how I've changed since then. And I think at earlier attempts, things had been a little too veiled and maybe I was maybe trying to be a little too artsy with it. And what I really needed to do was kind of go straight on and hit it in the face kind of thing. So it's very, very open and very honest. It's basically just a conversation that I had with my therapist and put the song and that finally opened the doors and the floodgates for this record.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, was that like one of the first tracks you wrote or kind of the last track?
It was around the middle. The music came pretty early on, and I knew that was the song.
Okay.
About the accident, but lyrics were hard pressed. But I knew the feel was there, and it took me a while to just get it down on paper and be like, oh, this is the way it goes. But here's the thing: even though that song was finished later, it was the linchpin of the record, and I don't feel like the record could have been finished or released without that song. Because it's like you have this elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
And this life-changing experience, and if you don't address it and you don't, that doesn't rear its head on the record, then there's no point in the record being there, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So that was a huge like dark cloud over me the whole time, being like, oh my god, like if this doesn't get finished, like you're not making a record, buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm glad that one came out as good as it did.
Definitely, and I bet it was incredibly therapeutic and a huge weight off your back to talk about it like that.
Yes, yeah. But then it opens up other wounds, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, shit. I'm never going to be okay. Fuck.
Hey, I mean, that means more records.
More records. Yeah.
How fucked up is it? That's the first thing that came to mind.
My confetti is tears. It's just like
I wasn't like, hey, do you want to talk about this? No, first thought, more records.
exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. So the lead single off this record is Young and Doomed.
Yes.
And now I'm not too familiar with your music videos. I watched a few of them.
Okay.
Now, this one, obviously for the Barrier Cycle, there was more of a blue vibe and a blue tint on the on the video, from what I noticed.
Okay.
And then the last music video I saw, it was all white.
Ooh, okay. What was the last video you saw?
I don't remember the name. I am so bad.
That's all right. That's all right. Probably
you had white
joyriding.
suits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we only did videos off of stomach aches, and now we're doing it for berries. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I had ideas for parachutes videos, but the accident happened, and we couldn't do anything. So whatever. But yeah, the colors are very important. This record, when writing this record, I knew early on from like the songs that were coming out that this was a yellow record.
Okay.
I don't know why I see color when I hear music. I know it's like a thing that people do. It happens to me, and I don't know why certain songs feel a certain way to me, but they just do. So the first record felt very pink, and the second record was all blues. This record is very yellow and a mix of. I brought in the blues and the pinks to kind of tie it all together, kind of thing.
Cool.
So it is like the Neapolitan of records, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, I have like that. Yeah, it's very Eastery. I guess.
Love that.
Yeah.
And it's coming out right after Easter.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh
Kind of.
shit. There you go. Is it? When's
maybe
Easter?
a month.
Do we know?
Like 2 weeks from now.
Okay, we can hold that, right? We can push Easter back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, perfect.
See, Easter has two meanings to me.
Oh, all
One,
right.
like growing up on the East Coast, start of
Okay.
spring. On the West Coast, it's like, okay, cool. It's acceptable to wear Hawaiian shirts after Easter. Here.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
I don't know why that came to mind, but fuck it, let's run with it.
I like that you think it's acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, are you saying it's not acceptable?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like Warped Tour, apparently it's Aloha Friday.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that was a thing because I wore Hawaiians every day.
Right, yeah.
So like one day I was like, oh, sick. Everyone's
That's like
wearing.
I just always thought like that's just like really real big fish to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Hawaiian. You know that ska Hawaiian shirt thing.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
It's got to live life like you're on vacation
I like
sometimes.
one of my best friends, Hambone. He is Hawaiian shirt dude. Like that's his thing.
Love it.
Yeah, it works well on him. I'm not a tiki guy, I guess.
Okay.
But I'd like to be. I think
We
don't
could
know.
change that.
Maybe.
Just-
I don't know if I can pull it off.
Just spend a few weeks out here and,
And now, is that the thing?
yeah, a few weeks out here.
After Easter.
Yeah,
All
after
right.
Easter.
Got it.
1 or 2 pina coladas and you're good to go.
Jesus came out of the cave in a Hawaiian shirt. I heard.
Yes.
That's what happened. I think. Yeah.
And then the Killers wrote that song about him.
Oh yeah.
My mom's gonna hate me after she hears it. So, now with everything going on, you have 3 records under your belt now.
Right, yeah.
Extensive touring, and I've also noticed you've basically kind of sort of exclusively toured with Taking Back Sunday at this
Isn't
point.
that weird? Yeah. Every time we have a new record, like every time we have a new record, we have a new band, and every band's first tour is with Take Back Sunday.
I like
It's
that though.
I love it. It's such a great tradition. I don't know if they're in on the joke, like in on it, but I thank God for them.
Yeah.
Like, and it helps because I've known them for so long that they feel like family. So you feel comfortable breaking in this new band, and it always works to my advantage. So
Hell yeah.
knock on whatever this is.
And this might be fake wood.
Yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe mahogany. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, very.
So now with being on the 20-year anniversary tour for Taking Back
Yeah.
Sunday, obviously you toured with them back in the day.
I've toured with every iteration of that band.
Oh, that's so sick.
From their original lineup to when Fred and Matt Rabano were in the band. Yeah. Every lineup.
Damn. So what's it like getting on stage, opening for them, and then hearing these songs for like maybe some of these probably the first time in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it's they're a great band, man.
Yeah.
And I really feel like too, like, you know, there'll be like those bands that because we all start like, you know, it's cool. Like, so Tucker plays in my band. He of course plays in Thursday.
Okay.
Matt Armstrong plays bass in the Future Violence as well. He was in a band called Murder by Death for a really long time. All of those bands and Take It Back Sunday, we all kind of started around the same time. And toured together and all that stuff. So I've known all these guys since like 2000, 2001.
Okay.
And we're all collectively friends, which is kind of crazy. So now, like, to get to see them play songs that they wrote from back then, and then also too, like, you know, a couple tours ago, like, see them play like new stuff and transcend all of that, and like and bring in new fans and old fans. Like, it's amazing. I really think they're such an incredible, like, genuine band. I really enjoy their music, their song crafting. You know, it's so rad to see that. I really enjoy it.
What an incredible tour package. Kids should be bringing notebooks and taking notes this between seeing you, Take You Back Sunday.
Dude, well, also too, I feel like they're smart, man. Like this tour, doing that coin flip thing, like that would scare the hell out of me to have to do that. I mean, like I don't know, like to not know what you're gonna play, and also like how the fuck is he keeping his voice after singing 40 songs a night?
Yeah,
like there's no way. Here's the thing. Granted, I've been off the road for about a year and a month, you know, like writing this record and doing that stuff and kind of like taking some time to myself. I came back on and a week and a half in had to get a cortisone shot in my ass.
Gee.
Like I don't know what he's doing that he can keep his voice. I mean, of course, like, you know, he's been touring for a long time, but also too, all right. In addition to singing and singing well, he fucking spins that microphone like an Olympian.
Yeah.
And my question to him is, and I asked him this, I was like, where the fuck do you practice that? Because I know that my wife would not let me practice that in the house. You have to go to a field somewhere to do that shit.
Yeah.
And imagine going into the field with just a fucking microphone on a lasso. Like, that's got to be so weird.
I would love to get video of that.
I would love that. Yeah, but it's probably like in a secret bunker somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to find out.
Yeah, well,
he won't
we'll
tell
find
me.
it.
He pretends like he's like, no, it just happened naturally.
I'll be talking to him in a little bit, so
All right.
I'll try to get that answer out of him.
Dig fish.
Yes, exactly. So, your biggest fan, Frank, has a question.
Yeah, exactly.
Fan submitted question.
Spill it.
Yeah.
I want to know.
So, another like random cool fact is we're both in the same movie.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
Romance
yeah.
in the Digital Age.
Yes.
So,
this is true.
talk about getting approached for that and kind of just getting to talk about emo and the legacy it's left.
Well, I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And they're like, well, it's a romantic movie, and you and Fish are together. And I was like, well, yeah, try anything twice.
Love it. And then John Nolan's in it too.
I know. Yeah. Well, and also, I think James Louise was in it, and I was like, oh, this sounds really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw it, I saw the preview when they posted it. I was like, damn, I'm in the same trailer as Frank. That's fire.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You said that?
Yes,
you
I
said
did.
I'm in the same trailer as Frank. That's fire.
Yes, I did.
All right.
That was a text that went around to everyone too.
Nice.
Copied and pasted.
I don't believe you.
It's true. It's a fact.
Okay.
So awesome. Well, I'm very stoked you came by the studio. Stoked you're
too.
playing shows. You have a new album coming out.
I do.
It's called Barriers. Once again, it's out on May 31st.
Correct.
And the last thing I want to talk about with this album, 14 tracks.
I know. It's
So-
a double record.
Oh,
which is
okay.
which I didn't know until like I handed it in. They're like, this is a fucking double record. I was like, that's right.
That was my plan.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I usually feel like 12 songs is a full record.
Okay.
That's how I've always just done it. Like, Stomach Aches was 12, Parachutes was 12, the Decibels records was 12. This song I couldn't cut it down. We recorded 17 songs in 17 days. Actually 15 working days, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And I was able to knock it down to 14, but I couldn't cut anymore. And you know what's cool about it is that it's a double vinyl, and I really like is that it starts with New Day's Coming, and then the second LP starts with a song called Motopop,
Okay.
which was the original idea for track one, how to start the record. And then I thought that was kind of the easy way out, so I wanted to kind of change that up. And I thought New Day's Coming was a better sentiment to start it on, kind of like I said, wipe that slate clean. But the cool thing about it is if you were to start the record now, if you get the double EP and start it, you know, with the wrong record, it takes on a completely different feel.
Ooh.
And I think that's really fun too.
I can't wait to listen to it like that now.
Yes, listen incorrectly and see what you think.
Dope. Let's do it. And one more thing, because it just popped into
Oh,
my
yeah,
head.
yeah, yes.
I remember an old interview I watched with you.
Okay.
And you said how when you realized you wanted to do music for the rest of your life, you got a spider tattooed on your neck.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
it's a
couldn't get a
scorpion,
real job. Yeah, scorpion.
My dad was so psyched.
So talk about how like ballsy that was back in the day when tattoos weren't really accepted. So you really only had one track. It was like
Yeah.
that or nothing.
Here's the thing, that story doesn't, I guess, stand the test of time because now it's like, oh, I put a song up on SoundCloud, I got fucking got a Black Widow on my nose, like you know what I mean, like, but whatever. Hey man,
Yeah.
you do you. When we were touring, I'll never forget the day we were in Richmond, and we were playing, and I didn't want to weigh out. You know, I felt like if I had a backup, like I went to school and I dropped out 3 years in. I could have graduated, but I felt like opportunity was knocking, and this was my chance. And if I had a backup plan, if I could take an easy road, you know, my personality, maybe that would have been it. And I never want to have that way out. Now that I have kids, this is probably not the advice that I would give them, but this is the road that I took, and I wanted to ensure that I had no other way. So I took a nap. I woke up. I had this idea, and I borrowed whatever money I could scrape together, which I think was like $43 or something like that. And I walked down the street to a shop, and this is again really, really dumb. Like, you don't just walk down to any shop, an artist that you don't know. But I did, and I was young, and I walked into the shop, and I was like, hey, listen, I got $43. I want a scorpion as high up on my neck as I can put it. And the guy was like, all right. Took me in the back, slapped it on, and then I realized, this is the best part about this, is that I realized like a week later, cleaning a tattoo on the road is not very easy. Now it's a bit better that they have like those
Aquaform and stuff.
Yeah, different, like that's weird bandage that you could put on and keep it for like 4 days, which I like now. But back then it was like, like hand soap from a truck stop and like paper towel kind of thing. So I was doing that, and then like a week into the healing process, I like really took a look at it. I was like, motherfucker, like it's got 4 legs on one side and 3 on the other, and I paid $43. I was like, he fucked me up. So that's how I remember exactly how much I paid for it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Moral of the story is tip your tattoo artist.
Yes. Awesome. Frank, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Everyone, check out Barriers. It comes out on May 31st.
That's
We got Parachutes and Stomach Aches to talk about or listen to in the meantime. You got Young and Doomed. And I think I want to play that for everyone right now.
Oh, yeah. Very
awesome.
Nice.
Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you so much, Fish. I appreciate it.
Stoked to see you play. And here is Young and Doomed.